Hi everyone, and welcome to Season 8, Episode 2 of Hen Sports Night. I'm Emily Brown, alongside Anthony Cavanese, and today we are bringing you all sports news with desk updates.
The NFL free agency negotiation window just opened up yesterday, and the official signing period starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. One early headline move includes the Kansas City Chiefs agreeing to sign Kenneth Walker III, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, adding a major playmaker to their offense.
The World Baseball Classic began last weekend, and the United States is undefeated in pool play. They won their game yesterday against Mexico 5-3. The U.S. is currently favored to win the WBC over the reigning champions, Team Japan. Tonight at 9 p.m., the U.S. will take on the only other undefeated team in their pool, Team Italy, who is currently 2-0.
As the Premier League season reaches its final stretch, the race is intense at both ends of the table. At the top, Arsenal and Manchester City are battling for the league title, while at the bottom, Wolverhampton Wanderers look set for relegation as Burnley, Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, and Nottingham Forest fight to avoid the remaining relegation spots, making every match crucial as the season comes to a dramatic close.
The Champions League roundup of 16 matchups are set. Check out our social media to see our brackets, and more on the Champions League later today in the show.
As of last Saturday, Delaware's women's basketball team clinched a spot in the 2026 Air National Guard Conference USA Basketball Championship. Today they took on the 9-seed Kennesaw State, defeating Kennesaw State 66-47. They face the number 1 seeded LA Tech tomorrow. And on the men's side, shout out to Conference USA Freshman of the Year winner Christian Bliss for being a standout player and leader in minutes played this year.
UD softball this past weekend won the FIU series 2-1. This was a great start to conference play for the Hens against a team who had a very successful start to their season. Katie Shivert had 2 4-hit games in the series, including a game-winning double on Saturday. Maddie Diamond also had a very successful weekend. She opened up the series on Friday with 2 hits and her 4th home run of the season.
Baseball also won their series this week 2-1 against Canisius. Both games on Saturday and Sunday were run rule wins with scores of 14-1 and 10-0. Lots of home runs for the Hens this weekend, as Vincent Davis had 3 home runs and Evan Bolden had 2. They will begin conference play this upcoming weekend with this series against LA Tech.
Now that's all that we have for desk updates. Now let's take it over to college basketball conference championship predictions.
What's going on, guys? I'm Dylan Devine alongside Anthony, Reese, and Mike, and today we'll be here discussing conference tournament picks along with our March Madness final predictions as well.
Woo! Not even transitioning to cut it out. So, to start off the video, our first conference of the video makes me really happy. It's the Big Ten.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers. They are an underdog team. They started 20-0. Nobody saw them coming at the start of the year. They're top 10 in the rankings.
Look, I'll say Big Ten's a really strong conference. I'm Michigan State through and through because you always got a chance with Izzo. They did lose earlier this season, but it was just a poor performance shooting. If Izzo can get his guys hitting the 3-ball, it's game over. But anyways, we're going to move it on to the next conference.
Heading over now to the SEC Conference. As you can see, 4 different teams picked. I'm a little confused at Anthony's Auburn pick, but I could be wrong. Reese, explain Alabama for us.
Well, Alabama, they're the past few years, they've actually been a pretty good program in basketball, shockingly, and they've kind of turned their program around. And I don't know, they did well last year. They've had a good season. I think they're going to do well.
Yeah, I mean, my pick for Florida, Florida had a resurgence the second half of the year. They played a little sloppy beginning of the first half, but the second half, they were really proving why they were the national champions and why they're defending their title. The SEC is filled with a lot of money, and these Florida Gators know how to play ball. I'm more interested to see how Anthony's Auburn pick shapes out for this tournament.
So to move on to the ACC, I chose Duke because, well, do I really need to explain myself? A powerful team, powerful program. They always do well in March Madness tournament, and I honestly think they're going to succeed in the ACC tournament. They're just going to kick butt.
Well, you know, my mom always told me when I was a young boy that I was a little different, and I decided to continue that trend today. Hurricanes actually having a good season this year, and Cameron Boozer, not better than Cooper Flagg, so they're not going to go that far in March. But, you know, I'm going Miami.
Heading now over to the Big East Conference. A lot of interesting picks here. Let's start with you, Mike. Why are the UConn Huskies going to win this tournament?
UConn is just a basketball dynasty in the NCAA.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last year with Anthony and Pollard. I think the Villanova Wildcats are going to pull off some miraculous upset and win the Big East tournament. Listen, Kevin Willard took this program in his first season above 500, won over 20 games, and they're going to make a big splash in this tournament this year. Hopefully, after losing Matt Hodge to an ACL tear, they're able to bounce back and play a pretty successful tournament and playing in their first NCAA tournament since 2021 and 2022.
All right, so now we're on to the Big 12. And Reese, you went with Texas Tech. Why did you do that?
Yeah, well, they're a good team. They actually beat Arizona this year, who is they've only lost twice. And I honestly think they're going to succeed and to be very strong in the tournament.
Yeah, and I chose Arizona because, as you said, they only lost twice. They got the strong, front court, the centers. They get rebounds. They're very physical, so.
Finally, now we're here to the national championship picks. Anthony, your shirt says Miami, but it looks like you're going green.
If you have been following HSN for long enough, you will know that I always believe in Izzo. You always have a chance with Izzo. Homegrown team. You just gotta respect it, and he always got a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go against the rival. I'm gonna go for Michigan. I think what sealed the deal for me with Michigan was beginning of the season when they were in Vegas for their tournament, and they averaged 36 points in that tournament. That's just pure dominance.
Yeah, I got Duke. Cam Boozer is just a beast down low, outside. He can shoot three sometimes. They're just going to overpower you and get it done.
Reese, what do you have for us?
Well, I chose Arizona because they're a powerhouse team, a good program. They've only lost twice this season. They're ranked up high. I mean, they all are, but I honestly think they're going to do really well throughout the tournament.
That's going to do it from us here inside the studio today. We had some pretty interesting picks overall, but now let's hand it off to Jason and his friends talking about some NHL hockey. Take care, guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Puck to the Net, where we will go over all recent NHL news. I'm Tyler Smith, and I'm here with Connor and Tyler Freeman. So, Connor, you want to take us away to start this?
Sure. The Flyers' season has been a roller coaster, especially with last year's rookie goal leader, Matvei Michkov, and his struggles with Rick Tocchet as the head coach. The power play has still struggled, but there are some upsides here and there, and no longer placing last in their division.
Trevor Zegras has been a welcome addition to the Flyers, and Travis Konecny still leads the team in points and carries the scoring weight with the absence of the 25 to 30 goal scorer Tyson Forrester since he is out for the season. This future core of Tyson Forrester, Michkov, Zegras, Drysdale, and Porter Martin has some promising upsides that the team might see a return to playoff form in a few years. So what are our thoughts on how Danny Briere should structure this team, or how the Flyers should try to improve themselves?
Well, I think the Flyers did step in the right direction with some trades, but they didn't really move that many people, trading for a few prospects with Boston, but they did not move some of their key pieces. Sure, they did move off of Bobby Brink, but they still had Rasmus Ristolainen, and that's kind of something you kind of want to move off of. You want to get younger. You have Zegras and Drysdale, who you want to kind of build as the core. You have Michkov as well. But you want your team to get younger, not older. And the depth certainly isn't helping. Sure, Vladar is 29, but he still is not someone you probably want to build your team around. What do you guys think that?
We do have another goalie in the pipeline. I think it's Zaverin is his name. He's a goalie prospect, and I think he has some promising upsides of playing right now. As for the team getting younger, I think we're at the sixth, the youngest team in the league right now, which is in the right direction. But again, I do think at the end of the day, you want a player that is a top 5, top 10 talent. And I think Matvei Michkov can live up to that. But I do think the team is strongly lacking in centers and needs to get a 1C to be competitive. And I don't think that will happen for a couple of years.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. This team needs to trade Ristolainen, maybe Owen Tippett, see what they can get first-round pick-wise, and just get younger.
Yeah, before we're talking about trades, bad luck for the Kings as they tried to get some more forward depth with the Artemi Panarin trade, but then losing out on Fiala and Andrei Kuzmenko due to injury. And it's unfortunate because the Kings, they definitely wanted to bring a new sense of urgency for this team to get over the hump and win the Cup with their longtime captain stepping down after this. And I think it's really important for them because they're one game out of a playoff spot if the Kraken lose. But something I do want to bring up for a team stepping in the right direction, the Islanders. Matthew Schaefer becomes so close to holding the record for the most goals scored by a rookie defenseman. He is about 2 away. He has 22 goals on the season, already shattering records by an 18-year-old. He is a defenseman, not a forward, and he's putting up large numbers. I know a lot of people coming into the season saw Ivan Demidov as the Calder lock, but Matthew Schaefer has just proven to be the next generational defenseman. It's not as much of a question now, as I like to say, of will it be Cale Makar or Quinn Hughes? I think Schaefer will edge himself into that conversation within the next 4 years, maybe even sooner. What are your guys' thoughts?
I don't think he's a Calder. He's Calder, but I don't think he's a Norris yet. But I think in maybe a year you'll see him probably in that discussion. As for other teams, the Avalanche continue knocking on the door of 100 points. Will they break the President's Trophy curse that has been set up for so long?
I don't think they will break that curse. I think the Avalanche will fall if they do face the Dallas Stars again. Mikko Rantanen seems to really hold their number. But one team that can break a curse, the Buffalo Sabres. They have been in a playoff drought for the last 14 years, tied with another major sports franchise, my New York Jets, of course. So the Buffalo Sabres are looking to end that streak. They are now first in the Atlantic Division, holding off Nikita Kucherov's Tampa Bay Lightning. And it's just been amazing. They had that obviously great game, 8-7, the final score, an absolute
physical
barn
game, too.
burner.
Very physical game.
Very physical game.
Do you
Dahlin
think
kept
that's a
getting punched.
possible Eastern Conference final matchup, possibly?
I don't think it's possible. I think they'll get knocked out in the second round. But Rasmus Dahlin has been just getting brutalized by other teams. I don't know what he's been saying to these people. Maybe he's becoming a rat like Marchand. But Rasmus Dahlin has certainly taken a beating over these past few games. But the Buffalo Sabres are proving to be that gritty team. But disappointment has struck this season. The Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, kind of two teams who people saw making the playoffs this year, are out of it completely.
And the President's Trophy Jets have
Jets.
also
Yes.
missed.
Almost all of them due to injury, and that's really uncharacteristic for these teams who really just wanted a shot at the cup. And it's been an interesting season as of yet, with teams like the Utah Mammoth coming out of nowhere and just seemingly taking the toll for the new wildcard spot. And with that, we will now move on to women's sports, starring Mia, James, and myself.
Hi everyone, we're here in the studio today. I'm alongside James Gallagher and Jason Pressman, and today we're going to be talking all about women's sports. So I kind of want to get right into it. Pressman, do you want to start us off with women's hockey? I know you talked a little bit about it last episode, but if I want to hear more.
Yeah, but the PWHL is back. They got 2 new expansion teams, one in Seattle, one in Vancouver, and it's just really good. It's really great for the sport, women's hockey. It's just taken off. You saw how great they were at the Olympics. PWHL is interesting because they have so many of similar rules to men's hockey, but they have so many different rules as well. In the National Hockey League, when you're on a power play and you score shorthanded, the power play still keeps going. But in the PWHL, they have a jailbreak goal. The power play ends and you're back to a 5-on-5, which honestly is so much better.
Amazing.
It's great. Yeah, it's definitely really great and exciting, and I love the PWHL. New York Sirens are amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Kind of to move on to women's soccer, Trinity Rodman over the offseason became the highest paid female soccer player in the world, which I think is amazing. On top of that, their season starts Friday, March 13th, which you guys will be able to watch, and I definitely recommend tuning in because ESPN is debuting their new Women's Sports Sundays, which will star NWSL games and WNBA games at the same time, which I know you were very excited about because it will be replacing baseball.
It is. I can't stand watching a Sunday night baseball game. There is nothing worse for it. But now we get the great limelight of women's soccer, women's basketball, which are only growing. The main thing I'm going to highlight here first is Unrivaled. They just had their championship game where the Mist won in an insane game. Brianna Stewart and Kelsey Plum just put on a performance for the ages where they just were going blow for blow, back to back, just all night. Stewie finished the night with 32 points. Plum finished the night with 40. She dropped the 40 burger, 3-on-3. Just talking about the playoff bracket as a whole that Unrivaled had, it was great competition all the way through. They're just going up, and it's not going down. This thing is to the moon until it lands. But with it being March, y'all, We got the Women's March Madness coming to us. Could Audie Crooks just destroy some brackets by dominating down low? Probably not.
But the thing is, when has Iowa State ever done anything?
That's so true.
Yeah, I know, UConn. I mean, 31, undefeated, 31-0. That's a really tough team. And the fact that they don't even have Paige anymore, which was a huge concern for them, losing one of their biggest players. But AC Fudd stepped up, really led her team to an amazing season so far. So what do you guys think about women's college basketball?
It'll be exciting.
I mean, for me, I'm adopting UConn as my new favorite team. I know a lot of people at home, they're going to call me bandwagon. Now, let me explain myself. My cousin, she goes to UConn. Why did she go to UConn? Because of the women's basketball team. As long as Coach Gino is there, they are going to be great. That is exactly what UConn is. That's why they're undefeated. That's why no one's stopping them all year. No one.
I know the Women's Hockey League hasn't been around for as many years as the NHL, but can you kind of fill us in on how they kind of run their system there?
Well, it's good. They sometimes use same facilities, but they mostly use AHL teams' facilities. They go for smaller arenas, smaller venues, but every now and again they'll schedule a game at like a MSG or the Kraken's stadium, and then they do have a deal with YouTube TV where all their games are on there for free or with a streaming package. So they're getting their games out there. They're letting their players play in international games. That's huge for their exposure, and they're also just building up the brand.
Yeah, and I think TV deals are a huge deal with that. I mean, we saw that with Unrivaled. They had TNT and a lot of other deals that provided them with the money that they could give to their players. So I think that's also huge. And along with NIL in college as well.
Yeah.
They are able to carry those deals into their pro careers as well, which I think is very helpful. So that's all we have for you guys today with women's sports. Now we're handing it over to Champions League with some of our cast members.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Champions League segment. I'm Henry, joined here by Fritz, Aiden, and Alan. And today, we're going to be doing a Champions League quick picks. So we're going to go through each of the games, talk a little ball, let's see what we get up to. So, first game, Aiden.
PSG versus Chelsea. It's battle of two teams that have won championships before, such as the Club World Cup and the Champions League. PSG is coming off a win over Monaco, and Chelsea has just been playing well recently in great form. And I think, in the end, PSG is going to win this matchup. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think PSG have it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, PSG, yeah.
All right, so next game.
All right, today's match, Galatasaray versus Liverpool. Disappointing for me as a Liverpool fan, a 1-0 loss. However, the second leg at Anfield, no Galatasaray fans. I think Liverpool are going to win it and make it through this round.
Yeah, I think just because of having no fans there, I think Liverpool is going to come back and take that.
I think Liverpool wins. No fans. Huge.
I have to agree with you guys.
Alrighty. Next we got Alan.
Real Madrid versus Man City. You know, after constant racial slurs not said to Vinicius Jr., you know, he brought it back, winning the game. Out of pure spite, you know, I have to go against Real Madrid, making Man City win.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been so disrespected for so long. All this hate. I mean, it gets to most players, but he used that as fuel and really proved it.
Yeah, I think Real Madrid wins as well.
For sure.
I'm going to go Man City. I think the injuries are going to hurt Real Madrid, and I think it's City that's going to make it through.
Yeah. All right, well, next, I think it's me. We got Atalanta versus Bayern Munich. We saw today Bayern clobbered Atalanta 6-1 in the first leg. I think it's just impossible for Atalanta to come back. I mean, give me Bayern.
Yeah, I got to go with Bayern as well. Just such a strong team.
Got to go Bayern, but Barcelona did some crazy stuff a while back, so you never know what Atalanta.
I mean, they honestly can't come back from that. So I have to go Bayern too.
Yep. So we got our next game then?
Yeah.
Newcastle versus my team, Barcelona. You know, it was a tight match. You know, it was 0-0 for a while. You know, but maybe future GOAT of Barcelona, you know, he's not future GOAT entirely, but Lamine Yamal brought it back for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a last-minute penalty to tie the game, tie the game up by 1 to win it for him.
I mean, I'm just so surprised Newcastle stuck with him. They play dirty, and that shows sometimes, but Barcelona's quality.
Yeah, quality.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, all right. Another game that was played today, Atleti Madrid versus Tottenham. It wasn't even a competition, really. 5-2. Tottenham had to pull their keeper. Just a disappointing matchup, and I think it's done for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Tottenham are done. Like, there's no way they come back.
I mean, Spurs, they suck. They're getting relegated this year, hopefully. They're getting knocked out.
They're gonna be like us.
I think next game, we got Aja.
Yeah.
All right, I just didn't even know it's me.
That's you.
All right, so Sporting and Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt, sort of a Cinderella story. They took down Italian giants and last year's Champions League runner-ups, Inter Milan. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was 5-2, 6-2 on aggregate. That's 2 games. Bodo Glimt crushed them. Now, I mean, what do we think about that game?
I mean, I love to root for the underdog, and luckily for me, they're on the other side of the bracket, so I'll root for them till the end.
The cupcake side.
Yeah, they're on the Mickey Mouse side.
Who do you guys have entire Champions League? Who is your champion?
Got to go Bayern Munich. They're such a strong team. That front three is just amazing. Got to choose them.
Bayern Munich. Like, they just look unstoppable.
Yeah, I got Bayern for sure. You got Michael Elise. Unfortunately, Alphonso Davies did get hurt today. But you have studs, Harry Kane, Manuel Neuer in his last year, I believe. Everything's just going right for them. Alan?
You know, I love to say it, guys. Barcelona is going to take it all the way. No I mean, there might be competition, but at the end of the day, just like they did it today, they brought it back. They're going to win.
You're really big on Lamine Yamal, aren't you?
Yeah. More of the team, but he is a big aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all the time we have today. Now let's send it off to Sam, James, and Dylan with Wavelength.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to HSN Wavelength. I have James Gallagher on my left and Dylan Devine on my right. I'm going to be thinking of a number, and I'm going to write this number down on the whiteboard. And they're going to give me sort of prompts and categories, and I will respond with the player that I think is closest to that number.
What MLB team would this be associated with?
The San Francisco Giants.
What I want is a championship. So either an Olympic gold medal from, I just won like an intramural championship, you know?
Oh, like the scale of like how happy you feel when you win it?
Yes.
Intramural first place.
Intramural first place.
Those 3 things.
So
this is probably my favorite thing
for
ever.
For Ryan Furman, it's a 10. For me, though, I have my answer.
All right. Do you have your answer, Dylan?
Okay, I have the number 6. I feel like it's too high.
See, I was thinking similar to Dylan. I went 5, and I think it almost could be 4.
Yeah, like I was thinking 5, but I was like, let's go up maybe.
So you're 6 and you're 5?
Yeah.
Drum roll, please.
Brrr.
Whoa!
Let's go!
So currently we have James is in the lead with 1 point. Dylan is not in the lead.
I think.
All right. The second number has been written down. Dylan, you get to start us off.
Okay. So in terms of our last 20, let's say last 10 World Series, what would this number be associated with? What World Series?
What World Series would I give this to?
Within the last 10 years. So from the most recent one to
2023 Rangers Diamondbacks.
That's a very I have a number in my head already.
I need from you an NBA team.
An NBA team.
My kryptonite.
Utah Jazz.
Okay.
What kind of Maryland basketball team would you associate this number with?
Oh, like throughout the years?
Yeah.
The 2021 to 2022 Maryland Terrapins.
I remember that team very fondly.
Oh yeah, you do, James?
You do?
Oh, no,
what are your memories of the 20?
Was on that team.
Really?
Oh,
was he? I just think you just say something confidently.
You just say something, and I'm like, maybe I don't recall Diggs' brother being on that team.
I think Cuckoo's gonna be a little crazy, and I'll go
That's
first.
what I'm concerned with, because I know.
I think Cuckoo went 1.
You think I went 1?
That's a poll.
I think he went, because if I had to think about it, if I had to think of every World Series, I think that Diamondbacks Rangers series might be the worst series. I think in Cuckoo's head, he thinks the Utah Jazz are the epitome of basketball in the NBA. I think
The epitome of basketball?
Yeah.
So wait, so isn't that
So
like
they
a
just
10?
play basketball.
Yeah.
So I decided to go a little higher. I went to 3.
That's the original number I had.
See, I don't know how to rule this because you boys just split the
we
middle.
split it.
Whoa!
It was 2.
I also thought about doing 2 as well.
That
my
was the
thing-
first number I wrote down, and I went up to 3 with the Jazz. I feel like I'm going to go into a little bit of Dylan's ballpark here. Emphasis on the ballpark part.
You want to go into the ballpark? You want to go into my ballpark?
I want an MLB manager.
Torey Lovullo of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
In your head, thinking of the Villanova National Championships, what would you associate that number with what championship?
2018.
I'm going to go right into his ballpark, beat him in it. You know, a little disrespectful. Not to be
Really?
sir.
That's a little
But
mean.
I want a March Madness moment that is equivalent to this number.
Ah, that's a good one.
Middle Tennessee State beating Michigan State in 2015.
Oh, I love this.
Really?
I'm so confident. You ready? It's 9.
Well, do you have a pick?
Whoa, this was the number I was thinking in my head. I had 7.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's 8.
We have an
It has to be
announcement
8. It's 8.
Wow.
Sudden death overtime!
Whoa!
What?
Dylan's got it right on the money. So sudden death round.
Is one question.
It's one question, and Dylan will get that one question because he
I asked the last
asked
question.
the last
Yep.
question.
Get out of here.
So we're gonna do a number.
Cuckoo. The Yankees have a lot of World Series championships.
Yeah.
I say to keep it easy, do we go for all 27? What number associates with the 27 World Series championships in your head?
1998.
Let's
Dylan?
flip it on 3.
Flip
Yeah.
on 3.
3, 2, 1.
4.
I said 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner today, right on the money, is James Gallagher!
Are you kidding me? I need you to do some severe
You need
research
me to do
after
some
today.
research?
The 1998 baseball team is probably
I
one of
thought
the greatest Yankee
97
teams
was
of
the
all
one
time.
that was like record setting.
1927.
Oh wait, no, 1997. Wait, no, that
No.
was the Marlins won the World Series that year. Oh my God.
James won off a technicality of Cuckoo's brain.
I'm sorry, Dylan. I'm sorry.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Furman. I'm alongside Matt Pollard, Jake O'Donnell, and Martin Ramirez. Welcome to Fraud or Not, where we debate if players are as good as fans think. First off, we're going to start with the beard in the NBA, James Harden. Pollard, what do you have to say?
One of the best players, greatest scorers of all time, MVP winner. I mean, in 2018, people were defending him with their hands behind their backs because they were scared of fouling him. I mean, besides that, though, when it comes to playoff time, I think we all know what happens then. I mean, no rings, chokes every time. They missed 27 threes in a row in 2018, so that's all I got to say.
Jake, thoughts?
Probably the biggest playoff choker in NBA history. You cry to your GM, oh no, I want Chris Paul, I want Westbrook, I want Dwight Howard, and you still can't win. And then you say, oh, I want to go reunite with KD and play with Kyrie in Brooklyn. And what does that get you? You go to the Sixers. Daryl Morey trades Ben Simmons for you. How does he pull that off? Doesn't do anything there. He scores 9 in Game 7. He's a bum. I'll forever hate him.
I mean, James Harden, I never put him on that high pedestal where he's on the same level as LeBron James or Steph Curry. I don't think he's ever near that. Okay, yes, in 2018 to 2020, he was the scoring champion for sure, but he's never had that playoff success, and I don't think anyone really ever expects him to almost. I think because of that, I think he's properly rated and not a fraud. Martin, thoughts?
I mean, like Pollard said, one of the greatest scorers of our generation. He's going to go down as one of the greatest dribblers. At one point, he was averaging 40, but he can't get it done in the playoffs. And, he's had the teams, but I'm going to have to go with he's a fraud.
Fair enough, but let's move on to football a little bit. Let's talk about the New England Patriots quarterback, Drake May. Pollard, thoughts on Drake May?
I mean, Mickey Mouse, a term that gets thrown a lot in the sports world. If you want to talk about Mickey Mouse, how about playoff Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, who had 7 turnovers in 2 games in the playoffs, Bo Nix, oh wait, no, not even Bo Nix, Jared Stidham, and that's how you get the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. Really?
Yeah, Jake?
Ryan Yeager, I hope you're watching.
Drake May is the biggest fraud in the league right now. You have the easiest schedule of all time. You looked worse than Trent Dilfer did in the playoffs. You have however many fumbles. The Pats did not win because of Drake May. They won in spite of Drake May.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Drake May cannot do anything against winning teams. Like, I don't even remember off the top of my head his exact stats against winning teams, but I think they're like
not a lot of
completion percentage, bottom half of the league, and then he just stat pads against terrible teams. Martin, thoughts?
Look, he did have an easy schedule. He's a young kid. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But, the game that matters the most, the lights were too bright, the stage was too big. He just couldn't get it done out there, so I'm going to have to go with he's a fraud for now.
Yeah, I was willing to put my college tuition on Drake May losing the Super Bowl. But let's move on to Lamar Jackson. Pollard, what do you think about Lamar?
Lamar and James Harden, in my opinion, are very similar. MVP winners, amazing regular season, one of the best athletes in their sports of all times. When it comes to playoff time, though, every time it's like, oh, Lamar, and then fumble, interception. Offense gets 10 points in the AFC Championship game, and that's it.
Yeah, and in his only appearance, too. Jake, thoughts?
For me, a week ago, I would say Lamar's a fraud, but I've given it some thought, given it some real research, and while I do think he has his fair share of playoff chokes, 2023 AFC Championship, throwing a pick into triple coverage, I don't think he's fully a fraud, because you like to say, oh, he is one of the best offenses in the league. Is it really your fault when Mark Andrews drops the two-pointer to tie the game? Is it really your fault when Zay Flowers fumbles every other snap? It's iffy with him.
I will say Lamar Jackson does a lot with his lack of receiving core. You can say that about any team and any quarterback, but you got to play with who you have. So I think Lamar Jackson's a fraud. He can't do anything in the playoffs. Martin, what are your thoughts?
Like Jake said, he's had some unlucky, moments with Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, but at the end of the day, he's multiple-time MVP. He's a dual threat on the ball. I'm going to say he's got time and he's not a fraud.
Fair enough. But real quick, I want to touch with Kevin Durant for our last part. Matt, thoughts?
KD, besides the Warriors and that one MVP like way back in the day, he's done absolutely nothing. Come on.
Yeah, I think he's a fraud too.
Besides Twitter.
Real quick, one more thought. Fraud or not? One word.
Not a fraud.
Fraud.
All right, that's all we have tonight. Make sure you tune in next time for episode 3 on March 31st. Thank you for joining us at Head Sports Night. Good night.
Well, everybody, thanks for watching our show tonight. If you want to watch more STN or be a part of it, we have our open mic night. Comedy acts, bands, singing, maybe even juggling, whatever it might be. If you want to be a part of it, email right here, send this email, and we'll get you set up. You could do whatever you want. You could just come and support us. The rehearsals will be April 1st, and the live show will be April 2nd. Thanks again for your support, and we hope to see you there.
Ahoy there, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. I'm your host, Erin, and tonight I'm joined by Addison, Emily, and Mateo.